Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today guys, we are going to read chapter 6 of Toby's story. Last time we read chapter 5, and guys, I hope you're enjoying this book. And guys, let's get started on chapter 6. To my surprise, the face of the man who had me in his hands broke into a smile. "Little rascal, aren't you?" he asked. "I heard about you. You're Toby, I'm Eddie, and this is my kitchen. Maybe I wasn't in trouble after all." I wagged hopefully, and Eddie laughed. It smelled delicious. I squirmed to get closer to him. I could smell butter and salt and juicy meat. My nose twitched wildly, and I realized that the scents didn't just belong to Eddie. They were all around. There was a pile of sliced up oranges on a table with a powerful odor that was sharp and sweet all at once. Bread was toasting, sausage was sizzling on a grill. My tail wagged faster and faster. What an astounding place I had discovered. I liked this room. I liked Eddie a lot. Eddie kept laughing as he put me on the floor. I snatched up the ball before it rolled away. But then I dropped it again because Eddie held out a finger with a sticky smear on the tip. "Peanut butter, marvelous!" Tyler burst into the kitchen. "I'm sorry, it's my fault." I threw the ball and Toby ran after him. I wagged hard for Tyler, but I couldn't stop my licking to get to him. "No kidding," Eddie said, sounded amused. Here you go, Toby. I've got something better than peanut butter. Want some bacon?" Something dropped on the floor right in front of my nose. Something that smelled salty and meaty and amazing. I grabbed it between my teeth. It crunched. It was the best thing I'd ever tasted. Better than the dog food Mona put in a bowl. Better than the treats my other friends sometimes fed me. If this was called bacon, I knew I wanted more of it. Maybe I belonged to Eddie, since he fed me the best treats. That seemed reasonable. It would be all right with me. "Never met a dog who didn't appreciate a piece of bacon," Eddie said, "but keep him out of the kitchen, okay?" "Sure, okay." Tyler picked me up. Picked me up. I was still busy with my bacon as Tyler carried me away from Eddie in the kitchen. A heavy door closed firmly behind us. We left. I wiggled trying to get back to my new friend in the best room that I'd ever been in, but Tyler didn't let me down. "No way, Toby," he told me. "We'd better get back to Mana." Mana? I knew that name. I wagged a little for Mana and licked my chops to get all the traces of bacon out. All the traces of bacon I could. Maybe I'd get another chance to visit Eddie and his bacon soon. Tyler brought me to Mana, and then something wonderful happened. Mana held me in her lap and rubbed my tummy while her mother carefully and tenderly unwrapped her bandages from my feet. "There you go, Toby," she said, all as she pulled off the last scrap of the white gauze. "All better. Set him down, Mana. Let's see him go." Running was so fantastic. It was great that my new house was so big. There was a stupendous amount of space. I tore down and up and down the hallways, skidding up the tile. Mona and Patsy wanted to play too. They chased me and I barked with joy. Fran came out of her office, her hands on her hips, as I dashed by. What is all this racket?" she asked. "What happened to our calm little puppy?" I didn't hear if Mona or Patsy said anything to her in reply. It was too hard. Mona caught up to me. At last, I went outside with me so that we could play some more. We'd played that game so that we could play some more. We'd played that game over and over for the next few days. I'd run down the hallway and Mona would chase me and take me outside once she caught me. Sometimes other people played too. Patsy did often. Taylor did too. Once Eddie even joined in. I'd let him catch me quickly because I thought he might have more bacon, but he didn't. Oh well, maybe next time. When he played, I'd dodge in and out of the rooms and jump on beds and chairs. Sometimes there were people on the beds or in the chairs. Most of them laughed. A few gasped with surprise. Often they wanted to pet me, and I'd let them for a little while. But then I would wiggle out from under their hands and start running again so that everybody would chase me some more. It felt like the games I played back in the pen with my brothers and sisters. So much fun. A few days after my bandages came off, Mona and I were playing chase, and then I darted into a room and leaped up on the bed. "Well, hello there, boy," said a person who was lying on the bed with the glasses on his face and a book propped up in front of him. It was Granddad. I knocked his book out of his hands and licked him all over his face. "Oh, I'm sorry," Mona said, gasping and running into the room behind him. "He's got so much energy since those bandages came off. He keeps getting away from me." "No problem," Granddad said as he petted me warmly. "Nice to have somebody who's this happy to see me." "Hey, there," said a woman sitting on a chair across this room. She shook her head and laughed. "Tyler and I are always happy to see you." This woman had said Tyler's name, and she smiled. A little like Tyler. That was interesting. I jumped off the bed and went over to sniff at her feet and legs. "Toby doesn't nag me about getting on that treadmill," Granddad said, picking his book again. "Now, Dad, please," the woman said. "I just 5 minutes a day." "I'm not a runner anymore," Granddad said, and he sounded grumpy. "Running is for tracks and trails out in trails outside, not on some kind of machine indoors. Where's Tyler, anyway? How's he coming with his running?" I heard a woman in a chair say something, but a cart rattling by in the hallway was more interesting to me. Carts often had fascinating things on them. I was beginning to learn that sandwiches, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, wiggling bits of jello. I dashed to the door, ready to investigate, but Mona snatched me up before I could get there. "No way, Toby, you come with me," she said, and she took me outside. That was the start of something Mona called training. Training meant that Mona would sit on the grass beside me and hold a crunchy treat in her hands. "Sit, Toby," she'd say and press on my rear end until my legs folded up underneath me. "Oh," she'd say, "down, Toby," and tug gently on my front legs until I'd stretch out on the grass. Then I'd get the treat. That was really the only fun part. Honestly, I thought we could find some better games to play, but I liked Mona and I liked the treats, so I went along with it. Or I went along with it as long as one of my friends didn't walk out of the doors to join us on the lawn. Then I'd have to run over to greet the new person and see what smells he or she had brought. Or as long as Squirrel didn't try to climb up one of the trees near the fence, in which case I'd need to chase that squirrel and prop my front legs up on the tree and bark and bark. Sometimes Tyler came outside to play, training, and Eddie came out to watch now and then as well. Once Eddie sat down on the grass with us, and I instantly burrowed into his lap, sniffing up all the delicious smells that clung to his skin and the clothing. Eddie smelled better than anyone I'd ever met. Eddie laughed and took of the treats from Mana. "Let's see if I can get in on this training," he said. Mana sat down on the grass to watch us. Eddie told me to sit. I did. Then he gently pushed on one of my shoulders until I felt a little bit off balance. I lifted one of my paws to steady myself. "Shake," Eddie said. He took my lifted paw in my hand. Then he gave me the treat. Crunch. I snapped it up. I like treats. I liked Eddie. We we did that game a few more times until I got impatient for the treat. When Eddie said shake, I didn't wait for him to push on my shoulder. I just picked up my paw and put it into his hand. "Good boy." Eddie gave me the treat right away. Smart little thing, isn't he? He's going to be a great dog to have around the place. Maybe, Mana said with a sigh. If he can figure out to outstay, he can't do that. He can't do stay. Let's see. Give it a try, Eddie said. Mana got up. She had a treat hidden in her fingers. I could smell it. A little drool dripped from my chin as I thought about how much I wanted the treat. "Sit," Mana told me. I figured that one out. I put my rear end on the grass, my tail beat against the ground. But Mana did not give me the treat. "How unfair." "Stay," she said, and she took a step backward, then another. Whatever stay meant, the important issue was that I wanted the treat, and I wanted Mana. I wanted to play with her and lick her and feel her fingers scratching along my back or rubbing my ears. Why should I just sit and do nothing when I could be with a girl like Mana? I jumped up and barked and ran to her, wagging wildly, jumping up to put my feet on her knees and pants up into her face and remind her of that I was here and needed to be played and with her and given a treat. "Oh, Toby," she sighed. She did not give me the treat, but I didn't mind too much. I just spotted a wiggly line of gray fur zipping up a tree, and up on the far end of the lawn, a squirrel. Squirrels were meant to be chased. I dashed off, barking as fast as I could. I could hear Eddie chuckling behind me. Running over the grass was wonderful. Eating treats with Mana and Eddie was wonderful. Training was not so wonderful, but I didn't really mind. I was just glad to be outside in the soft grass with that scent I remembered from the ranch in my nose. The smell of fresh growing things and warm dirt and quickly moving air. The smell of running. So guys, we're going to end this video right here on chapter 7, and I hope you're enjoying this book. And guys, I hope you're having a good day, and don't forget to subscribe and like and comment to my cousins and me. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this. And so guys, peace out. Bye. See you next time.